Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hard Gainers Guide to Growth. We're on episode 5, and today we're going to be talking about workout splits and finding the perfect split for you. Finding the best split for you is more than just preference, and it comes down to a few different factors, even down to whether you're a beginner, you're intermediate, you're advanced. Beginners, you can actually get away with doing a little bit less in the gym, and you can still get a pretty good stimulus and see some real changes.
Coco, you're changing!
And results in your programming. So we're going to be breaking down how to truly find what the best split is for you, and we're going to talk about why that might be. First one being training frequency. If you're training 5 to 6 days a week, that might be why you're not growing. I'm not saying that you shouldn't train 5 to 6 days a week, but for some of us it might be too much depending on a couple of different factors. And something to remember, more does not equal better. And we're going to break that down as we go more into the video. Hard gainers often burn too many calories, quote unquote burn too many calories. They don't recover well. Training too often can cause that lack of recovery. So more workouts doesn't mean more muscle. It may be holding you back if you're not recovering well. If you have these higher activity levels, that means that it's harder to stay in a calorie surplus and you have limited time for recovery. Burning too many calories is very vague. Most of the calories that you burn aren't in your workouts. That one's not the biggest factor, but I included it because I'm one of those people who can't stop moving. I'm very fidgety. Things to remember here: you don't grow in the gym. You grow when you recover. One of the biggest mistakes that especially new gym goers make is copying these advanced lifters. They're very long workouts. They have high volume.
It's basically an 8-hour arm workout.
But if you're struggling to gain weight, the problem isn't doing more, it's recovering from what you're already doing. We're going to discuss 3 versus 4 versus 5 days, and some of you may be thinking, come on, 3 days a week? 3 days can actually get a beginner a very long way, and I've seen many of my beginner clients do very well on even 2 days a week and just staying active in their sports, and they are seeing pretty good gains. So if you are a beginner, you're more toward that less days a week. If you are advanced, your body is going to require quite a bit more volume and a little more specificity in your training. 5 to 6 days a week. If you're not growing and you're doing 5 to 6 days a week, one of your options might be to go maybe down to 4 or 3 days a week. And again, it depends on a couple factors. 5 to 6 days a week is harder to recover from. You're doing a lot. And again, burns too many calories. I say that lightly, more as less recovery, and it kind of goes hand in hand. If you're not able to continue eating in that caloric surplus, then it's going to be harder to recover from that. And that's why I wrote down below, requires perfect nutrition. If you're going to the gym 5 to 6 days a week, you are breaking your body down quite a bit. You're going to need to have your nutrition really dialed in. And that's why this isn't actually ideal for most people. If you're very advanced and you can handle 5 to 6 days a week, you're recovering really well, your sleep is great, your nutrition's great, and you're just completely locked in, 5 to 6 days a week is going to be great for you. Again, especially if you are advanced. 4 days a week. This is a great option for a lot of people. This can fall into, if you're intermediate, even a little bit on the beginner side, it's balanced. And we're going to go through some splits that fall into the 3, 4, and 5 to 6 day weeks. It's a lot of volume in those days. You don't have to go more to a full body split. You're going to have really good recovery because you still have plenty of rest days throughout the week. If you're going on a Monday, Tuesday, you rest on Wednesday, then you have a Thursday, Friday, you have Saturday, Sunday to recover, and then you're back at it on Monday. And those rest days that you have off can also double as a cardio day, a light cardio day. You go to the gym, hop on a bike, treadmill, just get 30 minutes of some pretty decent cardio, and that'll help you keep that appetite while you're not in the gym on those days. If you don't go to the gym, some days those days are really hard to eat. It's hard to continue to eat the right amount of calories and stay in your surplus if you're not very active in that day, especially if you have a sedentary job or you're in school and you're sitting down all day. So those cardio days are going to help to give your body a stimulus to say, hey, we're still moving, we're active, keep feeding us some food, and you end up staying in that caloric surplus a little bit easier. Your 3 days a week. Beginners will be starting off in this 3 day a week window. If you truly are struggling gaining weight, sometimes recovery truly is the problem. So you have easier recovery because you're only doing 3 days a week. It's easier to remain in that caloric surplus because you're not moving as much, and you may see better strength gains in this window, especially if you are a beginner. Because you have that extra recovery, next time you go to the gym, you can really push those weights and really challenge yourself to gain more strength. Highly underrated. I think a lot of people would do really well, especially if they are very busy in school or in work. 3 days can be plenty. So to touch on this again, why would reducing training frequency help you improve? It allows for better recovery, more strength. You may have higher energy levels, and you can stick to it a little bit better. You don't have to worry about, oh no, I missed today. Now I only did 4 days this week. I'm not going to have time to get in that 5th day. If you're doing a 3-day week, if you slip up on one day, you can make it up before the next week begins. Your growth can improve through all of these things because better recovery and strength output and energy levels and consistency will also help reduce your stress because you're doing what you need to do. You know you have to go 3 days a week. You hit those 3 days. Wonderful. Now you're not worrying endlessly about how often you made it to the gym that week. You're not trying to do more. You're trying to grow more. And sometimes less allows you to do that. Something to consider. If you are going 5 to 6 days a week and you're so tired, you're not recovering, you're extremely sore, and you show up for the next workout, you're just moving through the motions, there's really no intensity there, 3 great workouts in a week is going to be much better than 6 average ones because you're actually going to train the muscle to failure rather than feeling so fatigued and burnt out that you're not getting a good stimulus and growth. So I would rather see my clients go 3 days in the gym, giving it their all. The intensity is there. They're pushing the weights. They're seeing strength gains rather than have them force themselves into the gym more days a week just to have an average or even below average workout from their lack of recovery and lack of sometimes motivation. If I have people who are very burnt out, they're like, listen, man, I really want to go 6 days a week, but I'm so exhausted. I'm struggling here. Just go less. Go less. Make sure that you can give every single workout your all. If you're pushing the muscles to failure, you're going to see growth. Best splits. When you're looking at different splits to do, you want to keep it simple and repeatable. So option 1 is your 3-day-a-week full body split. Full body does get a lot of hate, and I think it's because it's been done wrong by a lot of people. You can absolutely hit the volume necessary in order to grow on a 3-day full body split. When I'm going through a full body split, you're hitting every single movement in a day. You're hitting a squat, a hinge, a push, a pull, a core, a carry, and somewhere in those lower body movements is a single leg movement. So if you're doing a single leg squat on a Monday and you're doing a double leg hinge on a Tuesday, you could switch it and you could do a single leg hinge, double leg squat. And then again, there's more accessories that you could throw in for legs as well throughout the week, but that's just a basic example. So again, that's a really good option, very good option for beginners. But even if you aren't a beginner and you really can't make it to the gym often, you can do your best on a 3-day full body split and really push the weights, push the volume even, and see some pretty good growth. We have option 2, upper lower, 4 times a week. This is actually pretty close to the split that I have. Right now I'm 5 days a week, but I follow an upper lower based split. So on a Monday, I'll hit an upper horizontal push pull, not overhead. Tuesday is a lower push pull. So after Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday, I find myself on upper again and I do a vertical push pull. So a lot of shoulders and back again. Then I have that second lower day after a rest day. So my Friday would be my lower day again. And then my Saturday I treat as an accessory day. Not a 4-day, but upper lower split is a really good option. Option 3, I wanted to go, this is a very popular one, push pull legs. The reason that I wrote 3 to 4 days only, not 6 days, is because I want rest days to come in between. I want 3 to 4 days in a week for this. Again, more of an option for people who are under recovering. I don't want a 6-day push-pull legs unless I'm recovering from it. So if you're somebody who can recover really well and you're on top of your calories now and you are actually seeing growth on a 6-day split, absolutely go for it. It's very beneficial. You're hitting everything twice a week. However, if you're struggling with recovery, or you're struggling with nutrition and hitting your calories, I would not recommend passing that 3 to 4 days. Focus on recovery first, and once you build a tolerance, you may be able to add more days in a week. Now, I know you're thinking, push-pull legs, how do you have a 4th day? You just start back on push in that same week, and then the next week, you're not doing the same lift on the same days, you're doing a different lift on a Monday than you did the week before. Signs that you're doing too much. If you are not improving, your plan isn't working and you need to make changes. So if you're always sore, you're not getting stronger, you have low energy, or you're not gaining weight. Those are 4 pieces that you can look at. If you're not getting stronger, you're either under recovering or you're not doing enough in the gym. And again, not gaining weight, that's the whole plan of this Hard Gainer's Guide to Growth. We're getting rid of your Hard Gainer title. If you're not gaining weight, we need to make some changes. Some final thoughts. Your goal isn't just to train harder and do more. Your goal is to recover and grow stronger from your training. The best way to get proper recovery, get stronger, and stay consistent is to dial in. Give your body time to grow and you will see results. If you start to work too hard or you're not feeling like you're getting stronger or you're not recovering, it's going to be very, very hard to stay consistent. And if you're not consistent, you won't see results, because every coach will tell you the same thing: consistency is key. And for everyone watching, I'm curious, how many days a week are you training? Are you seeing growth? Let me know how your journey is going down below. Even if you're watching this 10 years in the future, it is 2036 and you find this series, drop it in the comments. And then also be sure to follow the Hard Gainer content. If you struggle to gain weight, this whole series is to help you get rid of that. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment, share it with a friend. If you don't follow me on Instagram, go give me a follow at Coach Jerry Hayes. Send me a DM if you need help with programming, and I will get you set up with a program to help you reach your goals.
Like, subscribe, continue following the journey, do your work. See you next time.